And again, they're supposed to have selected the two straightest edges to point towards the inside. That's good. And they're double checking this. Well done, lads. Although we won't be showing you on the video, you will need to measure diagonally all these measurements to ensure that they all stack up. That's really the acid test. Obviously, there will be people viewing this video who will be already appointed as agents or franchise holders for Robin Hood Sports Cars. And those people will undoubtedly be assembling dozens, if not hundreds, hopefully thousands of lightweights in the future. And those people, I'm sure, will eventually make it metal jigs, permanent metal jigs for this operation. Without doubt, for you people at home who are going to build one or possibly two lightweights, then this system of a chipboard jig, a chipboard base is adequate, and it will work quite well. You can see that these lads are working at a reasonable speed. Paul, being a window fitter, is always on bonus, so he's normally we'll be actually timing all of these operations, because obviously we've got to indicate to people in the future how long this kind of thing would take. That looks really good, lads. The final pieces of chipboard, which the number is C, they supplement D and E in so much that the body sits on them. So these are going to be fastened at the front of this jig board, and we're going to draw a centre line that's going to start off from just there, and then it's going to go across the board at an angle and finish up at 250mm either side of the centre line. And then we'll put centre lines down the two each board, and we'll nail them in position, and then that will give us a support for the body. You'll see when we do put the body sides on that the reason we've got to elevate the body off the deck is that there are some returns on the metal which are folded that go down the way. So all this will all fall into place, and you will all start to feel quite confident soon that you know what you're doing. Some of these pieces of chipboard we're putting on need to be precise, and others are just there to support the body, which is the case with these. The last four we're putting on now, or the two stacks of two. We've managed to find some quite big nails that will beat in. Any of you out there who are shuttering joiners will be in the element with this kind of rough joinery. Those of you who are cabinet makers will be horrified. So these, it isn't that important where these go, as long as they're underneath that line for the body to sit on.
Happy then? Yeah.
Now, because Mansfield Woodhouse is a mining community, that these lads here have got coal miners in the blood. They don't mind crawling around on their hands and knees on the floor, but really what we really need is to elevate this jig board into the air. Now, you can do that several ways. I mean, the easiest way is just to put it on half a dozen milk crates, providing all the milk crates are the same, or you can make a little wooden trestle, or you can put it on a couple of tables. So we're going to elevate this now into the air. We've knocked together a little bit of a table for it, and that will bring it up to a reasonable working height to make it easier to work on. So just remember that even though the floor that you're working on is level or not level, that any inaccuracies in the floor can be compensated when you make this table. So you really do need a spirit level. So when you've got this all together, you spirit level it up to make sure it is level. You'll see now that we've now got the jig board, the table elevated now, and it's at a good working height. Now, depending on what you really require yourself, this is probably 2 foot high. So we feel that's about right. Now we're going to start in earnest on the body, and we've got the first 3 components there. One is the tunnel bottom. Just lift it up and plonk it back on, Paul. So we've got the tunnel bottom that goes on that main part of the jig, and 2 centre sections, and that snaps on there, and it has to be flush with the end. That's quite important, but dead flush with the end. And then the other 2 components that we're working on now are the 2 560 cross members, and they're both the same, and they've both got holes at the very ends pre-punched in them. Now the first operation is, when we put that tunnel bottom on there, is to get your felt tip marker and to mark through the 10 holes that there is. Oh, we're just doing it now. Now if you look at this video and you think this is a bit of a put-up job, these 2 lads look a bit brighter than what they really are. One's not really a window fitter, and one's he works for the council. In actual fact, these 2 lads have seen the prototype video first. We've done a video that there's all swearing in it, and somebody's chopped the end off the finger and all kinds of things. They've seen that video, so they know a little bit about it. This is the real McCoy that you're seeing now. So if they seem a bit knowledgeable, it's because they've had a dummy run first. So they've marked through those holes, and what they're going to do now is get a drill with quite a large bit in it. This is about a 13mm drill. It's the maximum size you can drill with one of these cheap drills. And they're going to drill these holes, these spots, into a recess. Just drill one, Michael, now. Okay, the reason we've done that is so that when we've eventually screwed these members on, that the heads of these screws will drop into these holes. It's all common sense. So carry on and drill the whole 10 of the holes, and then you realise you need a little dust. The next thing is to drill 10 holes, 5 holes in each box. So on the face that isn't drilled, we mark a centre line to give you the centre of the box, and then we mark the middle. And then we centre pop a mark in the middle of that, and then 50mm outwards both ways. At 50mm and 100mm, we centre pop 2 more spots either side, so there's 5 holes altogether.
You better have put that centre line all the way there.
Yeah, so the centre line we'll put all the way around. To do that, you'll use a set square. I'll describe that to you later on, but use a set square for that, mark it precisely. These holes do need to be drilled quite precisely, and the hole that we're going to drill in it is going to be a 4.5. You'll see that it's very easy to drill, it's very soft to drill, and a little bit concerned that Michael's not wearing his goggles. Having said that, I'd like to see you wear them at home. He has got them here, but for the video, please excuse him for not wearing them. If he was working at a lower down, then he would have to wear his goggles. But I would like to see you people at home wearing eye protection. The next stage is to bolt these two box sections onto that lower tunnel bottom. So we're going to use some hexagon head screws. These are 30 by 6 self-tapping bolts. They've got a hexagon head on that I think takes a 10mm spanner size, an 8mm spanner size. We're using a small ratchet to put them in. If you find these screws are a little bit tight to go in, you can cheat a little bit by just wobbling the drill in the hole slightly. And remember that we're not tightening these up very, very tight until we finish the body shell and we flip it over. We've now got the 10-inch screws in, and we're going to flip this over and put it in its natural position onto the jig. Make sure there's nothing underneath it. That goes on there. Remember, if you've made any mistakes, then you can get over the problems you've got by just reversing those boxes. If you drill them wrongly, then you can drill on the other side and you've got a fresh side. So we've got that on there, and we've got it flush with the end of the jig. To show them where it's flush. It's flush just there, that's good. And what's going to happen now is we're going to measure to make sure that that is square, diagonally. That's looking reasonable, is it?
Which way? That way. That wants to come this way.
So there's a little bit of movement. Yeah, a little bit of movement in the holes, but you just need to check it. Once you've got it something like that, then you can just nip them off. That's good. So just carefully lift it over and just tighten those up. Very carefully so as not to move them. Then you'll check them again. we'll just check it once more.
Right.
That's good, great. We've got the body sides now, and we'll put them on the table upside down, and we need to take the plastic coating off the bottom. So with just something like a washer, like that, we just run along that edge, like that. Nothing too sharp, we just run along that edge, we take the plastic off that edge, and then this protective coating does peel off dead easy like that. Right, we've now got the plastic off the bottom of the car. The next thing to do is to remove the section that we don't want, that is only just tagged in. So you can see it's a bit that's been left with the plastic still on it. So Michael, just get the snips, the gilbos, and whip that bit out. But just remember, we still need that bit. Don't throw it away whatever happens. Pull on the other side's taken off the equivalent bit on the other side. And we're putting those safe out the way. Hold it up in there, Michael, that's good. That's what you're removing. That's what you're removing. And that's what you're saving.
Remember to these little tabs.
Some very small tags, I think the lads are cutting those off. If you could just catch your eye on it while you work, so they're being removed. Now what happens now is that we're placing these body sides inside the two restraining timbers at the side, and we're Michael, we're butting up the end of the sheet right up to the back face of that square cross member. So you can see there, just slide them forward like that, and then butt them up with a bang, so they're right up to that member, and they're right up against the timber just by Michael's right leg. Okay, with those in position like that, the next thing to do is to change direction of the panel. Now I think you're going to hold that up in the air, Paul, just to make sure that the camera person can see what we're doing. Michael's just slipping a tag, and what happens is that you see Paul's lifting up that middle section and he's slipping the front one underneath it. He's bending the panel at the side. That's it, it's so easy. So he's lifted that up and he's slipped it underneath. So that's bringing the front of the body in line with the lower underneath support. We'll just move that. I hope you got that on the video because it looks so simple. So you can see that we've bent the sides in, and you can see where we've slipped the front floor underneath the rear floor like that on both sides. And hopefully we can turn the camera around and we can see that the keyholes at the front, I should say the important holes, I'm using the wrong word, the keyholes at the front here line up like that and all the way around.
Just have to position it.
Yeah. So it's important that you juggle them around so they line up. There are a lot of unsung heroes at Robin Hood, and Walter has done all this work the CNC work, and this is the acid test that these line up. And you know once you've got these bolts in here that you know that it's self-jigging and you know it's square, but we'll check it as well. But that's where we're starting off now. I think you can all start to see where we're coming from with all these holes lined up. That's really good. But we just put a couple of bolts in now temporarily, and we can see that we're pushing the body sides out so that they're against the restrainers at the side, and the body is sitting nicely on the timbers, on the bearers underneath. We can see that these lines that we've drawn, that we agreed was 500mm apart at the front, the body is dead in line with those. As we come to fit on more components, then the self-jigging aspect of this package will become apparent. With the two plates we've just cut, with a little bit of brown tape, we'll just stick them temporarily into position on the inside of the body. Like that. And like that. We're then taking the cross member that you'll see isn't totally square. On one of the sides it's cut away at an angle. So with the angle that goes to the front. But what we will do, we will take off the plastic coating now, because if you don't take it off at an early stage and you use the prop rivets on it,